Hey guys and gals, this is Olga with AskYourSoul.org, and today I thought we'd do something a little bit different and see how that goes. So I decided to do a pick a card video, and I used 3 different decks for this one, and I'm going to include all of the links below. So here we have, as you can see, 3 wonderful piles of cards, and I ask that you kind of intuitively look at them and see which one resonates the most with you. So this is going to be pile number 1, this is going to be pile number 2, and this is pile number 3. So definitely don't think about this, just kind of see which one of these draws you in for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter why. It's basically your subconscious talking to you, you know. I'm also going to include timestamps below the video so you know, so you don't have to listen to all of this unless you really want to, and you can just go straight to your number. So okay, so now we're gonna do pile number 1, which is this one. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here under this beautiful amethyst. Fork in the road, building blocks, orphaned, mental conflict. We just recently had this one before. And I'm not going to do reversals, so awareness. Intuition, okay. Fertility. And harmony, wonderful. And then one last card that I'm going to add to each reading is going to be an Archangel card, and I'm just going to open this one at the very end of this reading. Just kind of look over the whole thing. Okay, so what I'm kind of sensing from all of these is that you might be going through a situation where you really need to make a decision, and you're kind of really uneasy about this. And you're afraid to make the wrong decision because you feel like if you do, you are gonna be totally alone in this, and feeling like you don't have any support, feeling like you just kind of failed in some way, you know? Another interesting thing is that you're basically gonna have to like rebuild something in your life, or some part of yourself, or maybe even like your whole self. You're gonna basically build something new in your life, and that's exactly what's gonna bring you soul harmony and this feeling that everything is going exactly as it should. So what is being asked of you is basically to be super in tune with your intuition, and to become more aware of what it is that you want. What do you actually want? What did you come here to do? What brings you joy? You have to be very much in tune with yourself in order for you to make this decision, because otherwise it's going to cause a lot of mental turmoil. And that's actually what I see is happening possibly for you right now, because this card to me isn't it like a really great card to express what mental conflict looks like? I feel like anytime there is a decision, an important decision to be made, there are always like 2 main sides of you, one of which is saying that you've got what it takes, come on, like let's just try this out, see what happens, just do it, just go with it, go with the flow, and see where it takes you. And the other part of you is just aching for like stability and comfort, and you're just kind of so confused, and you know, you can't quite see like the next steps yet. So you just have to literally do everything based on faith and trust. Your trust that it is gonna work out, which I know it's so freaking hard because we're social creatures. We really need this support and affirmation from others, as much as, you know, some of us like really would rather not feel this way. But I mean, it's the truth. We all need this affirmation every now and then. And so this path is basically asking you to really trust and not wait for this affirmation right away. I mean, you are going to get it eventually, but before that can happen, you're going to have to be the one who supports you the most. You know what I mean? Because sometimes like we're just waiting and we want the support from others so much and it's just not coming. And basically this is saying is don't let that stop you, because it's almost like a test of faith, as I often say, because It's asking you to really believe before you actually see any tangible results, so it's just really, it's all kind of like on this soul level, this emotional, mental level, but it hasn't been manifested yet. And for that to manifest, you have to really, really believe in yourself, basically. But these are really, really great, like encouraging cards. And then these two are also saying that you're so creative. You have so many ideas and potential that you're kind of carrying within, and you just have to finally bring it to this next plane of existence, the plane of existence where we can manifest. So this card is telling you that you have everything it takes for this to happen and for you to create whatever it is that you want. But in order for that to happen, you really, really need to get out of your head, and you really need to trust in yourself. Trust in yourself. Trust in the fact that you've come to this moment for a reason. You've come to this video for a reason. I guess I'm just so used to listening to the science of the universe that I don't really believe in any coincidences ever. And so I really want to encourage you to believe that this can happen, and you can rebuild or build anew whatever it is that you are carrying in your soul. And when you feel alone and not supported, and like you don't have what it takes, and that no one is really giving you this like motivation or help, because you're never ever really alone. There's always somebody, your guides, your angels, your higher self, God, whatever you want to call this universal force, but you're always being watched and you're always being taken care of. And I don't know if you can see this face, but that's what I was pointing to. There's always something / someone watching over you, and you're never really alone. We just get so identified with feelings sometimes that we feel like that's, there's literally no other alternative. Like, this is what it is, and we just kind of create our reality to be a certain way. But the truth is that it's really important not to over-identify with that, because it's almost like when you do over-identify with that, you are sending out this energy into the universe saying that, like, hey, like, I don't trust you, actually. I don't, because I feel alone, I don't feel supported, like, F you, I just, whatever. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like this vicious cycle, like, of you not believing in yourself, sending out this energy, attracting it back, and so on. But not to say that you literally attract everything with your energy. I really want to make that clear, because I hate when people say that. But hopefully you understand what I'm talking about here. I also keep kind of feeling like I have to mention this, because this card like really, really, really makes me think about pregnancy. So, if, who knows, maybe that's the issue that's going on in your life right now. Not an issue in terms of like being a problem, but like that's the situation. And maybe you will have to rebuild your life because you are pregnant and, you're about to give birth, and this new life is about to enter your life, and it ain't an easy journey, that's for sure, but it's also like amazingly beautiful and rewarding. And again, this was the last card saying that if you do really tune in and listen to your intuition and become more aware about everything that's going on in your life, then eventually you are gonna come to this place of harmony and love. So, yeah, so I just thought I'd mention that because I keep looking at this card and thinking I need to mention something about pregnancy. So, that's what's up. And then let's see what we have for the last card, which is from our Archangel Oracle deck. Ooh, passion. Archangel Haniel? I never know how to pronounce these, by the way. I'm sorry, like, I sound ridiculous, but every time I'm like, what is that name? Okay, so trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Yeah, and I feel like this is a very important kind of addition to these cards, because maybe in this decision, passion plays a really big role. And let's see, you have two different choices, right? Two different options to choose from. And one of them has very little to no passion, and it's just kind of something that's maybe comfortable, and you feel like oh, this is good enough and it's more stable and yada yada yada. So that's one path. And then the other path involves a lot of passion and you're just excited about this and you're kind of like, oh my god, like this is so scary but also so exciting. Like this is really interesting and cool and I wonder what happens. So then I would really encourage you to go with the latter and really trust that energy and just follow it. Just see what happens with it and where it goes. So that was my reading for deck number 1 or pile number 1. And now we're going to go ahead and do pile number 2, which is this one. Oh, look at these. Blessed, happy, happy. All the glitters. Look at this. These are awesome cards. Interesting. The waiting game. Discontent and boredom. Balance. Passion ignited. And then the last card, once again, I'll open at the very end. Okay, so to me, these actually feel like this is where you want to be. You want to be careless and free and just kind of, just cool with everything in life. Whatever's going on, you just want to see it in the best possible way and just really enjoy life and feel like nothing really bothers you. Everything's beautiful, everything's great. And it's almost like you're cutting yourself short in some ways, and you get hooked on things that don't really like serve you, or people that are not the best for you necessarily, but they seem so great on the surface that you're just kind of like, oh, maybe I'll just ignore whatever it is that bothers me and just, focus on all of these wonderful things that I love. And that's not really right either. You know what I mean? You have to acknowledge the good and the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no way out of it. We live in a world of duality, so it's one of those things. But maybe somewhere deep inside, you're feeling very bored and kind of discontent, unhappy, and like you don't really have anything to look forward to necessarily, or it's more like you're actually waiting. You keep waiting for something good to happen. You keep thinking, okay, well, when this happens, then I'm gonna feel awesome. When this happens, then everything is gonna be resolved and I'm gonna feel great. But the truth is that you can't change your state of mind right now. The state of mind is totally up to you. How you see yourself, how you see your life, how you feel about everything. And I also see that maybe you're like waiting for a sign from the divine, or you're waiting to kind of improve the connection that you have with the divine. And so you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's getting like really boring at this point because you're just like, dude, is this even real? What the heck? And the truth is that it's always there. It's always there. And even though this card says balance, or I think this is actually the Magician card, like in regular tarot, I first and foremost see this beautiful angel, and to me, this is saying that you're always being watched over and you're always given all of the tools that you could possibly need to succeed at whatever it is that you want to do. So it's like you're never alone. There's always this component of spirit that's in your life, whether or not you even realize that. But there's always somebody watching over you, and I feel like you're being told that you're not living the most passionate life right now, and this is what you're being encouraged to do, which is very interesting. It's very similar to the first pile I did. But you really need something that would help ignite passion in your life, because right now your heart is just not even open enough to actually enjoy life and get the best out of it. I feel like you want to consciously, but there's some block subconsciously, or blocks that are preventing you from like truly enjoying life and just trusting. And so I feel like one of the best things you can do right now for yourself is to find everything that you're actually grateful for in your life. Maybe even make a list. Those are also always awesome to do, especially if you want to look back at it like years from now. And just being really, really attentive to the things that do make you happy and things that do make you feel blessed and things you're like truly grateful for. instead of being focused on all the things that you don't have and all the things you want, I also encourage you to be very careful about what you want and mindful about it, because sometimes we think that this is what's best for us, but like 99.9% of the time, it's actually not at all. It just seems like it would be perfect. Okay, and when it actually happens, you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? I remember many, many years ago when I was trying to figure out like what career to go into, and I was still so young and so confused and just so like kind of, it's not like we have a manual that says you're gonna do and you're gonna love it and whatever, It's just you figure everything out as you go. And I just remember trying to picture like my best case scenario career, and I literally couldn't figure out anything other than, being in this big, beautiful office surrounded by like really nice people and having like amazing, beautiful views of the ocean or something. But now that I think back to it, it just seems so, not even shallow, but it's just not truly the right thing for me. For instance, I would actually love to work from home. I would love to be surrounded by nature all the time, not just having it as a view from my office window. I want to work for myself. I don't really want like a million people around me. So, I don't know, all these things, they seem like they'll be super cool, and it's just something you see in movies, and when you're young, you're like, oh my God, this totally suits me, and I would absolutely love it. I immediately think about like marketing professionals or something, and you just, they just sit there the whole day and just like make up really cool concepts for ads or whatever. I mean, it's so much more complex than that, but the point is that you kind of are conditioned to believe that something is super cool until you realize that for you, for yourself, this may not at all be what you want or need. You know what I mean? So anyway, sorry for such a long, elaborate explanation, but the thing is that like, please focus on what you love and what you're grateful for in your life, and be very careful about what you wish for, and know that you are always in charge of how you feel and changing your state of mind. And of course, you're never ever ever alone, just FYI. Okay, and our last card, let's see what we got. Compassion, Archangel Zadkiel. Okay, here we go again, like I have no idea how to pronounce that. Soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. Yeah, so this is a great reminder, to be more, just to be kinder, to be softer, to not see things in black or white. You know what I mean? There's like infinite number of other shades in between. And so being more compassionate with yourself is super, super important, and just being super nice to yourself when you're not getting that from everybody else in your life. But also don't expect too much from other people. You know what I mean? It's nice when you have people that you can count on, but even that changes sometimes. And it's also really good to just be flexible about things like that, because when you hold somebody to this high-ass standard and you kind of expect them to always be like the way you want them to be, it's bound to fail. It's bound to fail because you're getting like so attached to the outcome, and that stuff never works out. So this is more about just being more in peace with yourself and therefore with other people, not expecting too much from them. Again, taking back your responsibility for your own state of mind and not letting anybody or anything else control that, which of course I know is easier said than done, but it's doable at the end of the day. So I hope you guys found this helpful. And now we're going to do pile number 3. Okay, here we go. Pile number 3. Leg up. Chaos and conflict. Yikes. Go the distance. Partnerships and alliances. Moving on. Temptation. Fulfillment of wishes. And then this last card we're going to do at the very end. Okay, so I feel like this is actually more of a relationship spread. And it may not necessarily be like a relationship between two people, but maybe even friends. And I feel like you're really not being supported by this person or people that you have been counting on. Because maybe you've asked them for help, but instead of help, you ended up being in a conflict with them. And the only thing that you can do to get out of this conflict is to actually keep going with what you wanted to do, regardless of the fact that this person doesn't approve of it or whatever. So anyway, so at the end of the day, you're kind of feeling like you're just not being supported by this person or the people that are in your life. And maybe the situation is actually pushing you towards starting something new, maybe finding new relationships or friendships. On the one hand, maybe you feel like you do need to really move on and start something new. But on the other hand, you can't. You're kind of stuck between this like wanting to go on and not doing it. And maybe you're tempting to, like even this card, temptation, you see how there's basically two selves to him. One of them is looking in one direction and the other one is literally looking in the opposite direction because he knows that something else is promised, something so much better and so worthwhile, so much better than being tempted. So I'm seeing that whatever your wishes are, they're not going to get fulfilled unless you actually take a leap of faith and step into the unknown, like the Fool's card, and just trust that making this new step is gonna be exactly what you need in order for you to find whatever it is that you've been looking for. Yeah, so I feel like these cards are really, really encouraging you to do your own thing, to let go of this need to be approved of, which I know it's super hard, but it's kind of like you basically have a choice between doing your own thing, getting into conflict over it with someone that you really care about, but like really, really, truly going after what you want because you know that at the end of the day it's worth it, or kind of, if you're tempted to stay in this relationship or friendship, you're not going to be able to move on. You're not going to be able to fulfill whatever wishes you have. You're not going to take this new step. So you're basically going to end up being stuck in the very same situation with the same people. So, yeah. I mean, it sucks, but it's true because most of the time changes need us to let go of something that we're super comfortable with and used to, even if it doesn't serve us and we know that it doesn't serve us. It's just so much harder to actually take a leap of faith and like do something out of your comfort zone and move on. And yet that's the only way. I'm sorry, but that's the only way. And then, let's see the last card, which is Clear Your Space. Archangel Jophiel. Get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use Feng Shui. That's really cool. Yeah, like, see, even this card is just saying that for something new to appear in your life, you really need to clear away the old. There's just no other way, it's like there has to be this balance of energy, I guess. So definitely get rid of anything that doesn't serve you, as hard as it is. Just do your best. And maybe just take some time off, get some fresh air, go for a walk, just really like let go and just don't think about anything. Just enjoy being clear of everything. Just take a break and recharge and see how you feel afterwards. Okay, well, this was pile number 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you'd like a more personal reading, please reach out to me via askyoursoul.org. And I look forward to doing more readings for you soon, and I look forward to your comments and questions, etc. Love you all. Have an amazing day or night. Love and light. Bye.